Hello, Mr. Joe.
Hello.
Podcast 29. Long time in the wait. I was gone, then you had something, and then we had Labor Day, and
Hmm.
here we are.
Yeah. Happy
Happy
autumn.
20, yeah, happy 2027.
2020.
Do you so I have some data. We had talked
Yeah.
on last podcast 28 about like agents doing business, whatnot.
Yeah.
But do you know an agent by that? Because I want to give her credit. I don't know her, I follow her. Do you know Marissa Line? I'm not
Is that,
100%
I wonder if that is her
brokerage.
new maiden name. If that's her new married name. I know a Marissa,
So she,
but she used to be a different name. Is she out of an office in Uptown Minneapolis with a K and a W in the in the name?
I don't think she's KW.
Is
Anyways,
she okay?
anyways, she had a really great post. I like what she does on social, and she and her husband were fixing a dryer or something that had broken.
Hmm.
And she wrote, "Here's the thing. Home ownership isn't about decorating with cute pillows. It's about home health. Clean machines run better, last longer, and won't turn your laundry room into a fire hazard."
I love it.
I love that line. I love the fact that home ownership isn't about cute pillows.
It's awesome. I think it's a fantastic little touch tagline because it's not.
Like I said, I wanted to give her credit. I don't think I've ever spoken to her. We follow each other on social media. I don't think I've ever crossed paths with her, but I absolutely love that. I share something along that lines, especially to first-time home buyers. Do you share any of that?
I share things like, don't buy a house just for the sake of buying a house because there's more to owning the house than meets the eye. I share things like it's a great idea to purchase yourself some kind of a warranty on your property because something will happen and it's not always cheap. I try to talk about the reality of home ownership and it's a responsibility and it's a commitment.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
it's not just about cute pillows on your sofa.
Yeah, we've had kind of this run at times this year where we have buyers that are wanting to get out of the rental game. They're wanting to get into the home ownership and, you know, they're available to buy at a certain level, but that house, a house that was available maybe just had a lot of concerns. And it gets really hard to keep telling buyers like, I think we should wait. I think we should wait. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's their decision, right?
it
But
is.
but
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like when you have a seller, the seller sometimes is in a different boat. If you have a listing for $10 and you get an offer for six, the monetary sometimes outweighs the motivation. Sometimes with buyers, though, the motivation outweighs the dollar.
Mhm.
And you kind of want to be like, look, I know it doesn't make any sense now, but maybe rent another 6 months, rent another year, get your credit better, see if you can move up into a different price point or down payment, or wait for a different house, stay at the same price point you're comfortable with. And it's hard. And I like this line of hers.
It is. And the thing is if you are dealing with a first-time home purchaser and you're dealing not only with a first-time home purchaser, but maybe an entry-level price point to getting into a single-family home, I sometimes have people trying to get the most square footage for the least amount of money, which is gonna, from what my experience has been in certain markets, gonna be a house that has a lot of issues or a lot of potential for a lot of issues. So that's when I start directing them, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're entry-level home buyer, you know, the condo and the townhouse can start to make sense. And if you take that HOA and add it up or break it down in terms of what it covers with maintenance and lawn and snow and yada yada yada. Sometimes even internet, trash, water, heat, gas. It can be worth it and a great way to get your feet wet. And sometimes people can hold on to them. And when they get next house, they might have a built-in rental property if they buy it at a good price. So, I don't know. I do have that conversation because I don't just let people buy a house to buy a house.
Not to change the subject, but where are you?
Is it loud?
No. Are you in a, where are you?
I I'm in the North Loop of Minneapolis, and I'm at a really, really cool place called Fair House Coffee.
What is that book for sale over your left shoulder with the three bowls and spoons? I think I have that book. Is that a book?
It's tea and botanical exploration since 1997.
I absolutely do not have that book.
Yeah, I don't think it's a book. I just think they're promoting a specific tea,
Oh,
but
I
I'll
thought
show you.
it's
So
a cute place. Yeah, it's cute.
here's the place, and it's right across from the Sotheby's office in the North Loop.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I all of a sudden had this lightheadedness feeling, and I'm like, oh, Stanton, you've had too much coffee and you haven't had anything to eat. So I just had a really yummy breakfast sausage burrito, and they say served it with a really nice sriracha and sour cream, and it was really delicious. And now I feel better.
Okay. All right. Going
So
back,
there,
what's that?
yeah. So that's my plug. Fair. It's called Fairgrounds. Fairgrounds Craft Coffee and Tea.
I like it.
Fairgrounds Craft Coffee and Tea in the North Loop. It's fabulous. Come there.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. I found some more data for us. Last week or last show, we talked about a number of agents who have done a deal, right? Remember that?
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So here's some other data. What data
Data.
from NAR, National
Data.
Association. Okay. What percent of agents that are licensed in the nation are the age 60 and older? You and I talked about this briefly.
25%. That's my guess.
41.
Man, I was way off.
Okay.
I'm in that age group. I'm
I know.
60 and older.
All right. Of the agents that are in the business less than 4 years,
Mhm.
what do you think their average expense was for being a realtor? Now,
Their
yeah,
their average
dollar wise.
expense.
Yeah. How much did they pay in a calendar year for those in business 4 years or more? Now, the data did not say whether or not they are counting any type of desk fees or monthly fees for their brokerage. So it just said the average expense for an agent that's been on the market or been in the business 4 years or more. What do you think they spend a year?
$10,000.
8.
Okay, I wasn't far off.
What do you think their number one line item was as a bullet point? Like
Fees.
vehicle.
Ha, because they all have an expensive car.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. What percent of the licensed agents, so this is 2024 data, are with a independent brokerage versus a franchise? So franchise, Sotheby's, Keller, Coldwell.
What percentage is with an independent broker?
Yep, like me.
5%.
Nope, and it's actually growing. 55. It's
Interesting.
been it's been 51 since I started the brokerage 5 years ago. It was a data point that I always try to watch, but it's at 55 now.
Okay.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's growing? Because what did you just say? You thought 5%?
I did.
Why do you think and by the way, when I first saw that data 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was surprised too. So why do you think we both view it as less?
Because I think that was an unconscious bias that I had.
But why?
For larger brokerages to be more attractive to the new agent for educational and lead purposes. That's what my brain said. Clearly, I was wrong.
I'm wondering if there's
And I could admit when I'm wrong.
No, but like you're seldom wrong.
Oh, stop it. I'm wrong a lot.
Um, especially on this podcast.
Oh, that's
My
because you're just mean.
my gut thought trying to figure this out is we have that huge, like, let's just think of Minnesota, right? Or even Wisconsin.
Okay.
You have, I don't know Wisconsin that well, but in Minnesota, you obviously have the big horses. You have Rochester, St. Paul, Minnesota. But as you go north,
Don't
there's a
forget
lot
about
of,
Minneapolis and Duluth.
well, Duluth, though, the number one brokerage in Duluth isn't national. It's a
There
family.
you go.
So, but that's what I'm saying is I wonder as you move out of the prime areas, whether it's Miami, whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's whatever, if it goes back to the relationship and mom and pop still stand a chance.
Well, I don't think you're off. I think when you get into the more rural-ish types of locations, um, mom and pop might fare way better. And at the same time, I know a man in St. Paul who has what's considered a quote mom and pop brokerage who does exceptionally well. And if I wasn't where I currently am with Sotheby's International Realty, I would absolutely go and join this brokerage. It's fantastic. The history is fabulous. Their mission's fabulous. Their culture's fabulous. He's fabulous. And they do superbly well. So it's not you
Oh, all right, thanks. Um,
because you're not in St. Paul,
oh, that's true. Um,
but I still love you.
what for those agents
Yep.
in the business 2 years or less,
Mm-hmm.
average income, top line, not profit, top line.
$40,000.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
8,100.
Oh,
So this
shut
article,
up.
so this
That's a
article
that's one or two deals.
depends on where you are.
$8,100 for the whole year.
Yeah, so if you look on the NAR site, and then I found
Well,
a supplemental article on
hey,
some.
that number in itself tells you that this profession is glamorized way too much on TV and it looks really easy. You're going to make a ton of money. But I say this to people all the time. I came out of high-end, high-pressure medical device, corporate surgical sales. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. So thinking about that, I can see that. But holy smokes, if they made $8,100, that's you better be living at home with your family or
So,
your spouse is working.
so the article, the accompanying article that also cross-referenced this, it was somebody in the industry. It wasn't necessarily tied to NAR. They were saying just basically look at the data. If the average agent 2 years or less is making 8,100 and the average agent expenses are 8,000, their
They're
bottom
not
line is $100.
they're not making any money. Um, and sometimes, no, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, the average income per agent for last year. Care to take a ballpark?
How about if you tell me what the average income is for an agent that's been in the business 10 years or more?
I have 16 or more. Will
Okay,
that
so
work?
what is the average income for an agent in the business 16 or more years?
78.9.
Okay. Before expenses?
It just says medium income, so I'm assuming that's top line, yes.
And that's national?
According to NAR.
Okay, so let's go back to your old question that I just weighed from.
What is the average income per agent in 2024?
I'm gonna say $36,700.
58.
Okay.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I
Those
mean,
people who are
what is the average income in America in general?
that I don't know. I know Minnesota now is what, 43?
And is that dual income or single income?
I think when
Or
I
is it
looked
per
at it, I
household?
think it was household. It also says here those people who are 3 to 5 years, their average income is 42.5.
Okay. How are we helping people talking about this?
I think it's a tie-in to, I think you, to an agent, it's harder than it appears, like you said. To a
Mhm.
consumer, it's not as glamorous as, and not as, it's not as easy as just slapping a sign outside and the money comes rolling in.
Mhm.
That you have to be, in my opinion, be working with an agent or a brokerage that supports that agent that can do proper marketing. Marketing to me is not MLS and a sign in the yard. It's all those other things about how to promote the listing, how to find a buyer, how to represent your buyer, how to connect them with proper lenders, and the fact that this is a hustle. And the third factor to tie it together to me is it's an idea that NAR and their whole settlement last year with this idea of decoupling commissions, there's actually data that says that the buyer agent commission is up in the last year from August 17th, 24 to August 17th of 25. So buyer agents are doing a better job of explaining value, negotiating a commission, and I think the seller is making more money. So to me, it's a win for the settlement.
Mhm.
I don't, everyone, and I think I fell victim to this. It was like, oh, this is going to be so convoluted. This is such a like confusing thing. I think a year under our belt, it's actually working pretty good.
It's working great. It's working great. And it's a good thing that realtors on the listing side and realtors on the buy side have been forced to do a better job explaining their value proposition, what they do to help their customer. And good.
You and I talked about this one, kind of a curveball. I don't remember where this came from, but I think it was on a national comment from somebody. And you and I kind of had a difference of opinion, I think, on this.
We did.
If a
You and
list
I disagreed.
a listing video
Yep,
is a liability if the video can't be watched in front of a child.
I agree.
I don't know where I stand on that. So let me
I
give context. Hold on. So those that are listening, there's been this push of some real estate videos to be
I wouldn't say it's
borderline.
a push. There's a trend.
Okay, there's a trend to have some content that maybe isn't kid friendly. And of course, differences is the kid 6 year old or are they 15, whatever. But might be a little, I mean, I don't even know what the words would be. I don't know if I would say racy, but more language, more lifestyle, more whatever. There's a Twin Cities person right now that's getting a lot of content because they're just a little um the humor might be a little gray. There's a national agent that is very much pushing the lines of personalities and so why do you think it's a liability if it can't be watched in front of a child?
Well, there's two reasons why I think it's a liability. Number one, if it can't be watched in front of a child, I think the content is questionable, unprofessional, and out of line because you're selling a property, you're selling a house, and it's on social media, it's on, I just have a basic fundamental issue if a realtor like myself who is a professional is marketing the property and the video is so off base that a child can't see it. Problem number one. Problem number two is, what is the purpose of that video? Was the purpose of that video to promote the sale of that property and help your seller get that property sold? Or was that purpose of that video solely to get you attention, to make you popular and make you viral? If it's the latter, I find that problematic too, because you're not fulfilling a fiduciary responsibility to your seller in terms of getting their property sold and looking out for their best interests. It's showing me that on video and the soundbite is only looking out for your best interests. So those are the two reasons why I think a video is inappropriate if it can't be watched by a child.
Where
I think you
I
kind of agree with me because you weren't even getting mad. You were kind of
no,
happy.
because I think that I don't, how about this? I don't disagree with anything you said,
Mhm.
but
I think video is very, very, very important. If you're not doing it, you're missing the boat.
if a child isn't buying the house, the adult is.
I know.
So if it gets eyes because parents or I mean, obviously we're making a huge assumption with
Right.
fair housing that if it can't be watched in front of a child, we're assuming that the buyer has a child, but whatever. Um,
And it's not even that it's being watched in front of a child. My opinion, and it is my opinion, that if it can't be watched in front of a child, then to me, it's just an unprofessional video.
right.
Because
So
I'm a professional, and if I put something out on social media for the world to see, I want it to reflect well upon me and the
that's
property that I'm representing. And I
that's
don't
where I struggle with the answer because I would never do it.
know.
That doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it's just not my style and I don't know. Now, the question was if your seller is okay with it. If your seller hires you because they say, "Hey Mike, I saw that video you did on 123 Elm Street. That was hilarious. Push the envelope. We have a lake home." That's a different thing, but I still think I don't I also think you run the risk. To me, it's like identifying that you're pro Packer, pro Viking, pro blue, pro red. I think if the point of the video is to get eyes, like you said, for the seller, if you run the risk of alienating the buyer pool, you've just shot your client in the foot, metaphorically. So,
Yeah, I just won't do anything that's gonna um marginalize 50% of my potential buyer pool. And I think that's just not a wise thing. Now, people that are doing this, and I have seen them, they are funny, but I'm not attracted to that realtor from a professional standpoint. For example, yesterday I had an open house. Townhouses and condos seem to be taking a lot longer to sell than single family houses. This particular townhouse in Woodbury is an end unit, which gives them a lot of privacy and overlooks a pond. And everybody that comes in to see it thinks, oh my God, what a pretty view. You're overlooking a pond instead of the street. And so I decided to make a video because I called that the money shot. And this is really what differentiates this particular unit from the rest of the unit. I put that out on social media and my clients saw it because we're friends on Facebook and we are linked with Instagram, and Instagram and Facebook are linked. And I got a big red heart. They loved it. Now, had I done something negative, why wouldn't? But if I did, I would certainly want them to contact me and say that was inappropriate, take it down. But I mean, I just keep I just try to keep it safe, keep the ball down the center of the fairways. I don't like to push either way.
so two trends we'll end with on video.
Okay.
Sellers do not want their agents in their video. It's about selling the house, not the agent. And the
Okay.
second trend, and I mentioned this to you at one point, is there's a push right now, or maybe I didn't, might have been somebody from my brokerage, that out west, the trend right now is to do a video. You do not disclose the location, you do not disclose the location, or you do not disclose the price. The idea is that the engagement will skyrocket because if you list a house and you do a video of the house and it's a cool looking house,
Mhm.
people are going to want to go, "Hey, Agent Bob, where is that?" And you're going to say, "It's Woodbury, it's Edina, it's Blaine, it's Lakeville." They might rule themselves out because they don't want to be in Lakeville. They don't want to be in Blaine, the north, south, east, west of the metro.
Yeah.
But it rockets your engagement, which the SEO likes, which then will drive your post further up.
Well, when I do videos for my people, um, I am thinking about two things: engagement, getting my face out there as a realtor that uses the technology, but also selling their property. And um, I'm I'm unopposed to saying where it is, because if a person's looking at this great townhouse and this great view and they want to live in St. Louis Park or Hopkins and this property is in Woodbury, I mean, just let them know, man, this is in Woodbury. I mean, if a house doesn't have a
It's a
backyard,
trend.
make sure that your marketing lets people know this house has no backyard. The other thing that I've noticed is open houses are very busy. And my personal opinion as to why is because with the new rule, the new law that you can only show a property to somebody that you're under contract with the buyer representation agreement, either for that day or for a duration of time, people are coming more and more and more into open houses. Yesterday, I was busy from the minute I opened the door to the minute I left with people that were unrepresented for either their listing or their buy. And they were utilizing that open house to see the property that I had open. And to me, that's a win for them as buyers, for me as a realtor, and most especially for the seller because they got eyes and feet through their property. So,
Our open house closings this year are way up.
okay.
Where the lead came from the open house.
Okay. There you go.
We had kind of an interesting story for agents, which is why you should be doing open houses for your brokerage.
Mhm.
We had an agent in a brokerage, had a listing. She couldn't do the open house, so somebody else from our brokerage did the open house. People walked in, fell in love with the house, wanted to write, and turned out they weren't quick enough. She said, "You know what? You should be working with me, blah, 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 blah." They signed. The next week, a better house came on the market. She showed them that. They wrote, they got it accepted. She then referred them to me because they were in the metro, and I sold their house in the metro.
There you go. And that is basically how you pick up the breadcrumbs because open houses matter.
And by
Being a
the way,
realtor and being
it was about $900,000 of closed volume. It was low fours here, high fours there.
Yeah, but the thing is that's what you do. You need to be out in the public talking
Yeah.
to people. You need to be opening properties so people can see them. That's part of the marketing. Um, and it's changed.
And I will
And
say this, I said we were going to end on the video, but end on the open house. So our agent, her name was Jamie. Jamie, I think, is very engaged at open houses. She does very well at open houses. When I go to open houses, I'm astonished at how many agents are on their computers. I'm astonished at how many agents don't get up from the table. I'm astonished at how many agents don't know about the house, don't know about the community. I was at one last week from your brokerage. She nailed it. The house was great. I thought she did a wonderful job. She met me at the door, hand out, welcome, blah, 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 blah. She nailed it. I don't have the buyer for that house, but she did a great job. And I think Jamie from our group did a great job and she
so
sold two houses from it. So
I think Jamie from your group did a fabulous job, and your group obviously did a fabulous job because you worked as a team. You shared the referral, you got two properties sold, and you made two families very pleased.
You're the best. All right, I gotta go. I got a dog sleeping on my foot. That's why I keep looking down. Sorry, man.
Later.
Ciao.